I know where it is, bro.
To the Brighton.
So you started DJing in Brighton.
Yes.
But why did you decide to become a DJ?
Oh, I don't think I ever did decide to become a DJ. I think I just always really liked music. And when I was at Okay. I don't think I woke up and thought, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to be a DJ. I think I just kind of fell into it because I like music. And when I was at Sheffield Poly, all the students in the houses would have parties. It was a lot more about house parties than clubs. And I used to make these, you know, press and play, pause, record mixes.
Cassette mixes. And we'd go to these house parties, and I had a very flamboyant, very sort of kind of, I don't know how to describe Maria, but she was a character, and she was very bold, and I was very shy. And we'd go somewhere, and she'd just eject the tape, put mine on, and start dancing. And because she was cool, people would be like, oh, you know, and I'd just stand in the corner going, oh, people are listening to my tape. So I would say that's sort of how it started, because I did a few birthdays, you know, actually playing in venues, and I did a wedding for one of my friends. Her brother got married, and I played the music for the wedding. So there was a little bit of that, but then I kind of stopped. I didn't do that for a couple of years. So I'd say Brighton, and then moving to London. Okay, so Fresh and Funky takes off. That's going well. Why did you decide to leave London?
Well, I didn't actually intend to leave London in the way that I have left London. I wanted to come. So much of the hip hop that I really loved was East Coast. And, you know, so I became very about Brooklyn especially, and I watched Spike Lee films, and I was like, Brooklyn's so cool, I want to go.
That's exactly how I felt. You know, Biggie, listening to Biggie.
And then before that, you know, I love Gangsta, EPMD, all that kind of early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and so much I sort of migrated to the East Coast sound more.
Me too.
And I came out here in '94. They had a new music seminar that doesn't happen anymore, but it used to be a yearly thing. And I came for the new music seminar, and I just had such a brilliant time. I was like, I'm going to come back. And I had a dog at the time. He was like 15 and a half, and I was like, I can't leave my dog, like not in his older years. And he went on and on for a bit. You've had a good life. Let me go.
I want to be a DJ.
So finally, I thought I'll just come for a year. I honestly didn't think. And the way that New York, as you probably know, kind of sucks you in a bit. You're thinking your year's nearly up, and you just meet someone who. There's another little corner there.
I would say Brooklyn sucked me in. Yes. Brooklyn really made me want to stay. Not New York per se.
No, you're right. You're right.
Although New York's a great city.
Yes.
But Brooklyn is my part of this city.
I agree. I think I lived in Tribeca for 3 months, and in 1999 Tribeca was pretty cool actually. I wouldn't say there was wetlands. There was things on my doorstep. The other venue which moved to Brooklyn, that I forget the name of, and there was there was cool stuff happening, and you could walk to the East Village, you could walk to the Lower East Side. So I didn't mind Tribeca, but as soon as I got here, I was like, I don't really want to live anywhere else.
Okay.
You know,
so when you got here, and I'm gonna presume that, like, traveling to anywhere, and like in my experience, there's a honeymoon period.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So once the honeymoon period was over, what challenges did you face?
At one point, I think my biggest challenge was not being happy where I lived and not finding the right kind of living situation, which now I don't think, you end up knowing so many people that now if I needed a place to live, I'd just sort of ask around. But I ended up living with someone who I really didn't like living with. That made me very sort of, and then we had to leave our house because the landlady, gentrification was happening, and she sort of made out that there was all this plumbing to do, and then a week later they had new tenants in there. So I had to dodge around a bit, and I really hated that.
Were there challenges to actually being a DJ here?
Yeah, definitely, because I mean the thing is, New York's really competitive.
And again, so much of the things are like who you know, and if you don't, although I think the thing with me is because I'm not sure if it's an Aries thing, but we rush around and, you know, with a bucket on our head, not looking, and being too, the first 3 people I met, all I should have done just followed them around. I probably would have been fine. And that was Spinner, Maceo, and Tony Touch. And now,
those are the keys. Those are some keys to the city.
I didn't go to all their things, but it's just that also America, we both speak English, but culturally the way we do business, everything is very different.
Yeah.
So,
which I'm going to get to in a minute.
You get a lot of people who sort of talk the talk here that I would now see they're talking the talk, but I didn't see that at the time because you're taken in by the bravado, I guess. So there was a lot of things where I felt like I made a wrong decision going with these people, you know, just stuff.
Finding your feet.
Finding your feet and getting to know, you know, because we are both speaking the English language, but it's very different.
And in terms of being a female DJ, did that hurt? Did that help or hurt?
I think it's a real double-edged sword, that, because it can help and hurt. I think that in some ways people have to see you play to put in their head that you really can do this thing. And I remember meeting someone in Central Park, was one of the first gigs I had, actually, the roller skating. And I'd met this guy.
How long did you do that for?
This would have been my 20th year if they were up and running.
The 20th year in Central Park?
It was the first gig I did, was the roller skating in Central Park, because I saw it and I was like, I'd love to do this.
I really do think you're one of the hardest working DJs I've ever known.
Are you? Am I?
Yeah, I do. I really do think that.
I think I take some wrong turns that slow me down a bit, but...
Yeah, so you were saying about being a female DJ.
Well, I think, like, one case in point, I'm chatting to some people and, you know, they introduce, you know, like here we're talking and the guy says to me, what do you do? And I said, I'm a DJ. And he couldn't, what? And I kept saying I'm a DJ, and people around the table go, she's a DJ. And it's sort of, he couldn't equate those 2 words in the same context that he would if a man had said it. Admittedly, that was a long time ago, but I think it's the same, that sometimes people have to see you play to go, oh, okay, now I've instilled a bit of confidence in you that I can actually do something.
Yeah.
But it can be a double-edged sword, because if it becomes this whole eye candy thing, that's great when you're young. It's not so good when you're getting older, if the whole thing about the female DJ thing is this sort of eye candy, which it